Capitol recording stars, the Beatles.
Did you know the Beatles sold over 600 million albums worldwide, shaping modern music forever? Let's explore how legendary bands from 1965 to today have rocked the world year after year. 1965, the Beatles. Did you know the Beatles couldn't read music? Despite this, they became the best-selling band in history, with over 600 million units sold worldwide. Their innovative approach to songwriting and recording revolutionized the music industry, influencing countless artists across generations. In 1965, they were appointed members of the Order of the British Empire by Queen Elizabeth II.
I am Charlie Watts. I am the drummer.
I'm Brian Jones, and guitarist and harmonica.
1966, the Rolling Stones. Ever wondered how the Stones got their name? They took it from a Muddy Waters song, embodying their deep roots in blues music. In 1966, they released I Can't Get No Satisfaction, a track that became a defining anthem of the era. Their raw, blues-based sound set them apart, and their rebellious image resonated with the youth. Over the years, they've released 31 studio albums and sold over 240 million records worldwide, earning them the title of the greatest rock and roll band in the world.
Thousand people coming together, and there's a sense of communion, a communal thing. We're all here together.
1967, The Doors. Did you know Jim Morrison was known as the Lizard King? His enigmatic persona and poetic lyrics captivated audiences. In 1967, The Doors released their self-titled debut album featuring the hit Light My Fire, which topped the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Their fusion of rock, blues, and psychedelia combined with Morrison's charismatic stage presence made them one of the most influential bands of the 1960s, despite Morrison's untimely death in 1971.
Raving, there's more on their toes than somebody else's, but that's because we probably haven't played it.
1968, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Did you know Jimi Hendrix was once a paratrooper? Before his meteoric rise to fame, he served in the 101st Airborne Division. In 1968, the band released Electric Ladyland, which featured the iconic rendition of Bob Dylan's All Along the Watchtower. Hendrix's innovative guitar techniques and electrifying performances redefined the possibilities of the electric guitar.
A lot of people, yeah, a lot of laughs. You said that on stage. A lot of people out there are going...
1969, Led Zeppelin. Did you know their first album was recorded in just 36 hours? Led Zeppelin's self-titled debut album, released in 1969, showcased their unique blend of blues, rock, and folk influences. Tracks like Dazed and Confused highlighted their musical prowess and set the stage for their future as rock legends. Their dynamic performances and groundbreaking albums have sold over 300 million copies worldwide. 1970.
I didn't want to work in a factory. So somebody said, have you ever tried, do you want to join a band now? And I was like,
Black Sabbath. Did you know they were originally called Earth? The band changed their name to Black Sabbath, inspired by a horror film, to reflect their darker musical themes. In 1970, they released their self-titled debut album, often cited as the first heavy metal album. With ominous lyrics and heavy riffs, they laid the foundation for the metal genre. 1971, The Who. Did you know they were the first to use synthesizers in rock? Their 1971 album Who's Next featured the innovative use of synthesizers, particularly in the track Baba O'Reilly. Known for their energetic performances and the destruction of instruments on stage, The Who became symbols of rock rebellion. Their rock opera Tommy and hits like My Generation have left a lasting impact on rock music.
Just released their first LP, which was a big hit. And that's
1972, Deep Purple. Did you know Smoke on the Water was inspired by a real fire? The song recounts a fire that broke out during a Frank Zappa concert in Montreux, Switzerland. Released in 1972, the track's iconic riff became one of the most recognizable in rock history.
We were at college. We played for fun and we played R&B, we used to play Rolling Stones numbers, Bo Diddley.
1973, Pink Floyd. Did you know The Dark Side of the Moon stayed on the charts for 741 weeks? Released in 1973, this groundbreaking album explored themes of conflict, greed, and mental illness. Its innovative use of studio effects and cohesive concept set a new standard for progressive rock. With over 45 million copies sold, it's one of the best-selling albums worldwide. 1974, Queen. Did you know Freddie Mercury designed the band's logo? A former art student, Mercury combined the zodiac signs of the band members to create the Queen crest. In 1974, they released Sheer Heart Attack, featuring the hit Killer Queen, which showcased their versatility and theatrical flair.
This is a real healthy thing. It promotes good feelings,
1975, Eagles. Did you know their greatest hits 1971 to 1975 is among the best-selling albums ever? In 1975, the Eagles released One of These Nights, featuring the chart-topping title track. Their harmonious blend of rock and country resonated with audiences, leading to massive sales and critical acclaim. The album's success paved the way for their next project, Hotel California, which would become a cultural touchstone.
Amazing success story. Who has guided you over those 10 years?
1976, ABBA. Did you know Dancing Queen was performed for the first time at a royal wedding? In 1976, ABBA released Arrival, featuring hits like Dancing Queen and Knowing Me, Knowing You. Their catchy melodies and polished production captivated global audiences, making them one of the best-selling music acts of all time.
Go to sleep, Christine, until 3 o'clock? No, Stevie. Oh, Stevie.
1977, Fleetwood Mac. Did you know Rumors was recorded amidst personal turmoil within the band? In 1977, Fleetwood Mac released Rumors, an album that became one of the best-selling records worldwide. Despite internal conflicts, they crafted timeless songs like Go Your Own Way and Dreams.
Hello, we're the police.
And you're watching
1978, The Police.
Tired of expensive, low-effort scriptwriters for your YouTube channel? Autoscripter.ai is the ultimate solution. Say goodbye to low-quality, poorly retention amateur scripts that fail to generate thousands of views for your channel. At a fraction of the cost, Autoscripter.ai helps your videos go viral. In just 3 steps, Autoscripter.ai creates a polished script tailored to your needs. Just input your title concept, select your tone and style. The intuitive interface makes editing and refining effortless, fast, smart, and trusted by hundreds of satisfied users who have already discovered the amazing tool. Start your free trial today and watch Autoscripter.ai transform your YouTube channel. Just click the link in the video description below now.
Did you know their debut album was recorded in just a few weeks? In 1978, the Police released Outlandish d'Amour, featuring hits like Roxanne and Can't Stand Losing You. Their fusion of rock, reggae, and punk, combined with Sting's distinctive voice, set them apart in the music scene.
He wrote, it was rock and roll, it was about women, the rock and roll life, but he certainly had a way with
1979, AC/DC. Did you know Highway to Hell was their first album to enter the US charts? In 1979, AC/DC released Highway to Hell, propelling them to international fame. The title track became an anthem, showcasing their raw energy and hard-hitting rock style.
What's been the most rewarding part about growing up and then succeeding together?
1980, U2. Did you know Bono's real name is Paul David Hewson? In 1980, U2 released their debut album Boy, featuring the single I Will Follow. Their passionate performances and socially conscious lyrics quickly garnered attention. Over the years, they've become one of the world's best-selling music artists. 1981, Journey. Did you know Don't Stop Believin' became the top-selling digital track from the 20th century? In 1981, Journey released Escape, featuring hits like Open Arms and Don't Stop Believin'. Their blend of rock and pop, combined with Steve Perry's soaring vocals, captivated audiences.
It would have just been too long. I think we'd have grown too far apart. Very natural, really.
1982, Duran Duran. Did you know they were named after a character from the sci-fi film Barbarella? In 1982, Duran Duran released Rio, featuring hits like Hungry Like the Wolf and the title track, Rio. Their stylish music videos and catchy synth-pop sound made them icons of the MTV generation. 1983, Metallica. Did you know their debut album was funded by a loan from drummer Lars Ulrich's mother? In 1983, Metallica released Kill 'Em All, introducing thrash metal to a wider audience. Their aggressive sound and complex compositions set them apart, leading to a dedicated fan base. They've since become one of the best-selling bands in history with over 125 million records sold worldwide. 1984, Van Halen. Did you know Eddie Van Halen played the iconic guitar solo on Michael Jackson's Beat It? In 1984, Van Halen released their album 1984, featuring the hit Jump, which showcased their versatility by incorporating synthesizers into their hard rock sound. The album became one of their most successful. Fun fact, did you know that in 1984, Bruce Springsteen's album Born in the USA sold over 30 million copies, making it one of the best-selling albums of all time?
Who's the Joker sitting next to you, incidentally?
I don't know.
I've seen him hanging around the table for some... Excuse me?
1985, Dire Straits. Did you know Brothers in Arms was among the first albums recorded entirely digitally? In 1985, Dire Straits released Brothers in Arms, featuring hits like Money for Nothing and Walk of Life. Their meticulous production and Mark Knopfler's distinctive guitar work captivated audiences worldwide. The album became one of the best-selling of the decade with over 30 million copies sold. Its success was bolstered by the innovative music video for Money for Nothing, which became a staple on MTV. 1986, Bon Jovi. Did you know Slippery When Wet was initially going to be titled Wanted, Dead or Alive? In 1986, Bon Jovi released Slippery When Wet, featuring anthems like Livin' on a Prayer and You Give Love a Bad Name. Their energetic performances and relatable lyrics resonated with a broad audience, propelling the album to sell over 28 million copies worldwide. 1987, Guns N' Roses. Did you know Appetite for Destruction is the best-selling debut album of all time? In 1987, Guns N' Roses burst onto the scene with Appetite for Destruction, featuring hits like Sweet Child O' Mine and Welcome to the Jungle. Their raw energy and rebellious image captivated fans, leading the album to sell over 30 million copies worldwide.
Yeah, and after that it becomes, difficult to concentrate, You're not fresh.
1988, REM. Did you know their name stands for Rapid Eye Movement? In 1988, REM released Green, marking their major label debut with Warner Brothers Records. The album featured hits like Stand and Orange Crush, showcasing their blend of jangly guitars and cryptic lyrics. 1989, Nirvana. Did you know their original band name was Skid Row? In 1989, Nirvana released their debut album Bleach on a modest budget of $606.17. The album showcased their raw grunge sound, laying the foundation for their future success. Though initially receiving limited attention, Bleach has since sold over 1.7 million copies in the US. Nirvana's rise to fame in the early 90s brought grunge to the mainstream, with Kurt Cobain becoming an icon of his generation.
You can't really change it. You can use flanges and effect pedals, but it's still basically the same.
1990, Depeche Mode. Did you know they were once banned from performing in East Germany? In 1990, Depeche Mode released Violator, featuring hits like Personal Jesus and Enjoy the Silence. Their dark, synth-driven sound and introspective lyrics resonated with a global audience, propelling the album to sell over 7 million copies worldwide. 1991, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Did you know they once performed wearing only strategically placed socks? In 1991, the Red Hot Chili Peppers released Blood Sugar Sex Magic, featuring hits like Under the Bridge and Give It Away. Their fusion of funk, rock, and rap, combined with energetic performances, captivated audiences. The album sold over 13 million copies worldwide. 1992, Pearl Jam. Did you know their original band name was Mookie Blaylock? In 1992, Pearl Jam's debut album 10 gained significant popularity, featuring tracks like Alive and Jeremy. Their blend of hard rock and introspective lyrics resonated with the grunge movement. The album has sold over 13 million copies in the US alone.
The first question, do you want to go with a lighter one, or do you want to go with
1993, Radiohead. Did you know their debut single was Creep, which they initially disliked? In 1993, Radiohead released their debut album Pablo Honey, featuring the hit Creep. Their blend of alternative rock and introspective lyrics set them apart. Despite initial mixed reviews, the album gained popularity, especially in the US. Radiohead's willingness to experiment with their sound has led to critical acclaim and a dedicated following. 1994, Green Day. Did you know Dookie was recorded in just 3 weeks? In 1994, Green Day released Dookie, featuring hits like Basket Case and When I Come Around. Their energetic punk rock sound and relatable lyrics resonated with a generation, propelling the album to sell over 20 million copies worldwide. Dookie won the Grammy Award for Best Alternative Music Album in 1995. 1995, Oasis. Did you know their album What's the Story Morning Glory became the fastest selling album in UK history at the time? In 1995, Oasis released What's the Story Morning Glory, featuring anthems like Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger. Their Britpop sound and swaggering attitude captivated audiences worldwide, with the album selling over 22 million copies globally. Oasis's rivalry with Blur and their outspoken personalities kept them in the media spotlight, further fueling their popularity.
It's not necessary to have bodies flying through the air for us to play a great show.
1996, The Smashing Pumpkins. Did you know their album Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200? In 1996, the Smashing Pumpkins continued to dominate the alternative rock scene with their double album, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, featuring hits like 1979 and Bullet with Butterfly Wings. The album was certified diamond by the RIAA, reflecting over 10 million copies sold in the US. 1997, Radiohead. Did you know OK Computer was recorded in a 15th century mansion? In 1997, Radiohead released OK Computer, an album that redefined alternative rock with its experimental sound and complex themes. Tracks like Paranoid Android and Karma Police showcased their innovative approach to music. The album received critical acclaim, winning a Grammy Award for Best Alternative Music Album and being nominated for Album of the Year. OK Computer has been cited as one of the greatest albums of all time. 1998, Korn. Did you know their album Follow the Leader featured guest appearances from artists like Ice Cube and Fred Durst? In 1998, Korn released Follow the Leader, which debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, featuring hits like Freak on a Leash and Got the Life. Their fusion of metal and hip-hop elements, along with Jonathan Davis's raw vocals, brought new metal into the mainstream. The album sold over 5 million copies in the US and earned them widespread recognition.
The red and the black sides of this is one like bouncier.
1999, Blink 182. Did you know the working title for their album Enema of the State was Turn Your Head and Cough? In 1999, Blink 182 released Enema of the State, featuring hits like All the Small Things and What's My Age Again. Their catchy pop-punk sound and humorous music videos resonated with a young audience, propelling the album to sell over 15 million copies worldwide. 2000, Linkin Park. Did you know their debut album Hybrid Theory was the best-selling debut album of the 21st century? In 2000, Linkin Park released Hybrid Theory, featuring hits like In the End and Crawling. Their blend of rock, hip-hop, and electronic elements appealed to a wide audience, with the album selling over 27 million copies worldwide. Hybrid Theory was nominated for 3 Grammy Awards, including Best Hard Rock Performance for Crawling. 2001, The Strokes. Did you know their debut album, Is This It?, was recorded in a basement studio in Manhattan? In 2001, The Strokes released Is This It?, featuring tracks like Last Night and Someday. Their garage rock revival sound and effortless coolness garnered critical acclaim, with the album often cited as one of the greatest debuts in rock history. Is This It? Played a significant role in revitalizing the rock scene in the early 2000s.
When was the last time you had a row as a band? And do you often row?
2002, Coldplay. Did you know Chris Martin wrote The Scientist after listening to George Harrison's All Things Must Pass? In 2002, Coldplay released A Rush of Blood to the Head, featuring hits like Clocks and The Scientist. Their melodic rock sound and introspective lyrics resonated with a global audience, with the album selling over 17 million copies worldwide. The album won the Grammy Award for Best Alternative Music Album in 2003. 2003, The White Stripes. Did you know Jack and Meg White initially claimed to be siblings? In 2003, the White Stripes released Elephant, featuring the iconic track Seven Nation Army. Their raw garage rock sound and minimalist approach captivated audiences, with the album earning critical acclaim and a Grammy Award for Best Alternative Music Album. Seven Nation Army became a global anthem, its distinctive bass line chanted in stadiums worldwide. 2004, Green Day. Did you know American Idiot was conceived as a punk rock opera? In 2004, Green Day released American Idiot, a politically charged concept album featuring hits like Boulevard of Broken Dreams and the title track American Idiot. The album marked a departure from their earlier work, embracing a more ambitious narrative structure. It won the Grammy Award for Best Rock Album and sold over 16 million copies worldwide. 2005, The Killers. Did you know Mr. Brightside was written in just 2 hours? In 2005, The Killers gained international fame with their debut album Hot Fuss, featuring hits like Mr. Brightside and Somebody Told Me. Their blend of post-punk revival and synth-pop elements resonated with a wide audience, with the album selling over 7 million copies worldwide. Mr. Brightside became one of the most enduring songs of the 2000s, remaining on the UK singles chart for over 200 weeks.
Perfect. Couldn't have asked for anything more, Joe.
Okay,
Yeah,
Matt,
we buzzed
did
off
they do any fireworks?
2006, Arctic Monkeys. Did you know their debut album became the fastest-selling debut in UK history? In 2006, Arctic Monkeys released Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, featuring tracks like I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor. Their witty lyrics and energetic rock sound captured the zeitgeist, with the album selling over 360,000 copies in its first week. 2007, Foo Fighters. Did you know Dave Grohl wrote and recorded the entire debut album himself? In 2007, Foo Fighters released Echoes, Silence, Patience, and Grace, featuring hits like The Pretender and Long Road to Ruin. The album showcased their versatility, blending hard rock anthems with acoustic tracks. It earned the band a Grammy Award for Best Rock Album. 2008, Kings of Leon. Did you know the band is comprised of 3 brothers and a cousin? In 2008, Kings of Leon released Only by the Night, featuring hits like Sex on Fire and Use Somebody. Their southern rock roots combined with a more polished sound resonated with a global audience, and the album sold over 6 million copies worldwide. Use Somebody won the Grammy Award for Record of the Year, and the band's popularity soared, making them one of the most prominent rock acts of the late 2000s. 2009, Muse. Did you know their live performances often feature elaborate stage designs and pyrotechnics? In 2009, Muse released The Resistance, featuring the symphonic rock anthem, Uprising. Their fusion of rock, electronic, and classical influences created a unique sound that captivated audiences worldwide. The album won the Grammy Award for Best Rock Album and top charts in multiple countries.
Nice to actually interact, see people, and see all the people. And
2010, Arcade Fire. Did you know they were the first indie band to win the Grammy for Album of the Year? In 2010, Arcade Fire released The Suburbs, a concept album exploring themes of suburban life and nostalgia. The album received widespread critical acclaim and won the Grammy Award for Album of the Year, marking a significant achievement for an independent band. 2011, Foo Fighters. Did you know their album Wasting Light was recorded in Dave Grohl's garage? In 2011, Foo Fighters released Wasting Light, featuring hits like Rope and Walk. The album was recorded entirely on analog tape in Grohl's garage, emphasizing a raw and authentic sound. It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and won 4 Grammy Awards, including Best Rock Album. 2012, Mumford & Sons. Did you know their album Babel became the fastest-selling album of the year in the UK? In 2012, Mumford & Sons released Babel, featuring tracks like I Will Wait and Lover of the Light. Their fusion of folk instrumentation with rock energy appealed to a broad audience, leading the album to debut at number 1 on both the UK Albums Chart and the Billboard 200. Babel won the Grammy Award for Album of the Year. 2013, Imagine Dragons. Did you know their single Radioactive set a record for the most weeks charted on the Billboard Hot 100? In 2013, Imagine Dragons gained widespread recognition with their debut album, Night Visions, featuring hits like It's Time and Radioactive. Their blend of rock, pop, and electronic elements created a unique sound that resonated with a wide audience. Radioactive spent a record-breaking 87 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100. 2014, The Black Keys. Did you know their album Turn Blue debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200? In 2014, the Black Keys released Turn Blue, featuring the hit single Fever. Their blues-infused rock sound, combined with a more psychedelic approach on this album, captivated listeners. Turn Blue debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, marking the band's first chart-topping album.
Artists should absolutely immerse themselves in whatever the geography or the environment is they make music. I get confused.
2015, Tame Impala. Did you know Kevin Parker writes, records, and produces all of Tame Impala's music himself? In 2015, Tame Impala released Currents, featuring tracks like Let It Happen and The Less I Know, The Better. The album showcased a shift from their earlier psychedelic rock towards a more synth-pop and disco-influenced sound. Currents received critical acclaim and was nominated for Best Alternative Music Album at the Grammy Awards. 2016, 21 Pilots. Did you know they were the first musical act to have every song on 2 albums certified gold or platinum? In 2016, 21 Pilots gained massive popularity with their album Blurry Face, featuring hits like Stressed Out and Ride. Their genre-blending style, incorporating elements of pop, rock, hip-hop, and electronic music, appealed to a diverse audience. Blurryface became the first album in history to have every track certified at least gold by the RIAA. 2017, The War on Drugs. Did you know their album A Deeper Understanding won the Grammy for Best Rock Album? In 2017, The War on Drugs released A Deeper Understanding, featuring tracks like Pain and Holding On. Their expansive sound, blending heartland rock with atmospheric synths, received widespread critical acclaim. The album won the Grammy Award for Best Rock Album. 2018, Greta Van Fleet. Did you know they were often compared to Led Zeppelin due to their similar sound? In 2018, Greta Van Fleet released their debut album, Anthem of the Peaceful Army, featuring tracks like When the Curtain Falls. Their classic rock-inspired sound drew comparisons to legendary bands like Led Zeppelin. The album debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 and earned them a Grammy Award for Best Rock Album.
But I found out on a genealogy website that we're related.
2019, Vampire Weekend. Did you know their album Father of the Bride marked their first release in 6 years? In 2019, Vampire Weekend returned with Father of the Bride, featuring tracks like Harmony Hall and This Life. Their blend of indie pop and world music influences captivated audiences, with the album debuting at number 1 on the Billboard 200. Father of the Bride won the Grammy Award for Best Alternative Music Album, showcasing the band's evolution and maturity. 2020, Tame Impala. Did you know Kevin Parker spent 5 years perfecting the Slow Rush? In 2020, Tame Impala released The Slow Rush, featuring tracks like Borderline and Lost in Yesterday. Kevin Parker's meticulous production and exploration of time as a theme resonated with listeners, with the album receiving critical acclaim and charting globally. The Slow Rush was nominated for Best Alternative Music Album at the Grammy Awards, further cementing Tame Impala's influence in the psychedelic pop genre. 2021, Foo Fighters. Did you know Medicine at Midnight was described as their party album? In 2021, Foo Fighters released Medicine at Midnight, featuring tracks like Shame Shame and Waiting on a War. The album showcased a more groove-oriented and dance rock approach, debuting at number 3 on the Billboard 200. Medicine at Midnight won the Grammy Award for Best Rock Album. 2022, Wet Leg. Did you know their debut single, Chaise Lounge, went viral, propelling them to fame? In 2022, Wet Leg released their self-titled debut album, featuring hits like Chaise Lounge and Wet Dream. Their witty lyrics and catchy post-punk inspired sound captivated audiences, with the album receiving critical acclaim and charting internationally. Wet Leg's rapid rise to fame and distinctive style have positioned them as one of the most exciting new acts in indie rock. Their playful approach and infectious energy continue to win over fans worldwide.
As like sketch, like a sweet note with like a cool t-shirt.
2023. Boy Genius. Did you know this supergroup consists of Phoebe Bridgers, Julian Baker, and Lucy Dacus? In 2023, Boy Genius released their debut full-length album, The Record, featuring tracks like Not Strong Enough and Emily I'm Sorry. Their harmonious blend of indie rock and folk elements, combined with introspective songwriting, resonated deeply with listeners. The album received widespread critical acclaim, debuting at number 4 on the Billboard 200.
The title track's sick. It's like a real sort of orchestral, like Lee Hazelwood.
2024, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Did you know they embarked on their largest North American tour in 2024, showcasing their relentless creativity? In 2024, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard continued to push musical boundaries with their genre-defying sound and prolific output. Their commitment to experimentation and constant evolution has positioned them as one of the most innovative rock bands globally. Their dynamic performances and dedication to authenticity resonate deeply with fans, attracting a diverse audience to their shows. Thanks for watching. If you love this musical journey, hit Hit that like button, subscribe for more music nostalgia, and share with your friends. Don't stop here. Check out our other videos to keep the good vibes rolling. See you next time.